one.
Hello, I'm Luke Franks.
And I'm Arielle Free, and this is Worst Date.
Yeah, show all about terrible, weird, awkward, strange dating stories.
Yeah, today we're joined by Brennan Reece and Danielle Peazer, and they have some, well, quite hilarious stories.
Yeah, there's vomit, elbows to the face, and third wheeling. So, all your favourite things.
Enjoy.
And on today's episode, we've got the lovely Danielle Peazer and Brennan Reece.
Woo!
Yes.
Hi guys, you can speak.
We're allowed now.
Yeah.
We're allowed to speak.
Welcome along.
Both just sat there like...
I feel like you're nervous. Are you nervous to talk about your dating life?
A little bit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Don't be nervous. It's a safe space.
When I asked you to come on this podcast, you were like, I don't know if I'm actually that good at, like, dating.
Well, yeah, this is the thing. You reached out to me and I was like, oh, thanks. Yeah, it sounds really cool, but I'm not sure I'm the best person because my dating history isn't really that exciting.
Which is great, because it's Worst Dates.
Yeah.
So maybe I am the perfect person. I don't know. We'll find out.
Brennan, what are you like at dating? Do you enjoy it?
I used to love it when Tinder came out, but then it just became quite a lot of effort. Not because basically I'm good at first dates. I'm terrible at second dates.
Interesting, because for most people it's the other way around, right? They get nervous on the first date and then they're away on the second one.
I basically just used all my good stories.
Oh.
So then when I turn up for the second one, they'd be like, and anything else? Like that? No. Done my free stories.
It's like a band when they had the difficult second album.
Yeah.
That's literally what it was. Yeah. I'm like the Hoosiers. Remember that?
One-hit wonder of dates, just like, yeah.
That's what they used to call me on Tinder, the one-hit wonder, which sounds more aggressive than it should be.
Love it, all right. If you were going to sum up your dating history in a single word, what would that be, Danielle?
I would have to say something like bland.
Bland? You're selling it well.
Or beige.
All right,
Beige.
sort of middle of the road.
We've
Yeah,
had vanilla
fine.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had vanilla before. We've had bleak.
Oh, okay.
James McVeigh described his dating history as prison.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Being in a
What happens
relationship.
to it?
What about you, Brennan?
I think mine's been sort of like problematic or like embarrassing.
Okay.
It's just a lot of stuff happens, and I don't know why it's always me.
All right. You feel like, yeah, you're the guy where it always gets crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel I picked the wrong ones.
All right.
Or they latched
Interesting.
themselves onto me. I don't know.
We always like to slide into your DMs. I don't know what the DM situation is on either of your socials. This is basically inspired because we realise a lot of people are quite weird in the DMs. Some people use it as a way to kind of approach people, date people.
It's the new Tinder, I reckon, sliding in the DM. Well, it's not really new, is it? But it's easier to do, I think, because it's like...
Well, Luke says that if you reply to someone's Instagram stories, apparently that's a really subtle way of being like, ooh, hi. But I reply to everyone's Instagram stories all the time. Like, oh my God,
I'm
that's so
making
cool, guys.
a lot of mistakes, if that's what that means.
I reckon if you go for the cold, like, slide into a DM, that's quite difficult to make a good first impression, right? And get a line right. But if you reply to a story, starts a conversation, it's the same thing, but it's easier. So, just saying.
Have you had any weird DM situations recently, or can we slide into your DMs now and see if you've got any?
Have a look.
And you know, like the message
them out, go
request
on.
section.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's the one where you know someone's weird popping up when it's like 9 requests, and it's just people with lots of pictures of like cats or like, like where they're just a bit mad.
yeah. I know.
Cats is usually a clue, isn't it? If you
Cats,
have loads of
why
cats.
is cats a clue? I like cats.
Yeah, but not
Yeah.
if you've got more than one, I think. Problematic.
Yeah, no, I get a lot that I can't really understand, that English clearly isn't their first language.
Right.
Oh.
And so they never really
Google
make
Translate?
sense. I get just like bought like hello, hey.
Oh yeah, just looking at that.
Just that.
I love that. It's the first hello didn't work, so maybe if I send exactly the same thing again.
2
that'll
days
work.
later.
2
as well.
days later.
And then we got quite a few
Spell
months later.
H-A-Y like a bale of hay.
Like a bale of hay.
Probably not the one, Danielle.
Hey, I like that. That's cute.
And then I got another one saying, hey, can I get that number? Lol, playing. Or can you follow me? Pues.
Pues, P-W-E-S. He's S there, yeah. Weird.
Can I get that number? Lol, playing. Okay, so hang on.
What?
Are you trying
Yeah,
to chat
that's
me up
like
or are
the-
you not?
Plausible deniability thing, isn't it? You slide in, you're like, oh, that's gone wrong, so it was a joke.
Yeah.
It's like when you go like ha 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 after you've been a bit rude, like you've been like,
Yeah.
hey, whatever, well, you're like, ha 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 ha, and then that face.
These stick out the face, yeah. Now we know, Brennan. So.
I usually get quite a lot off like I think porn bots.
Oh, really?
You know, like, where it's like a beautiful woman who looks like she's from like Russia, like very striking.
yeah. I
We
get a few of those.
opened one of Luke's DMs on a podcast, and it was a very buxom lady showing everything.
Full
but it turns out she
breakfast
was real. She looked
She
like
was
she was
real,
like
yeah.
porn.
She was like a glamour model.
Yeah.
And so I went on her actual profile, and it was just more of like body pictures, but fully everything, but just no conversation, and just a series of pictures of like her entire body. I was like, I don't
How
know
does that
what
work
you'd
in social
reply
media?
to.
Because I thought they blurred out or like they blocked.
They
Like,
do,
took
but
down
if you
images.
press it and press it again, not that I have, but occasionally, you need to see what's behind the blur. Else actually no.
He's got no thumbprints because he's been pressing it that much. But, oh my god, this is.
My screen is broken, not because I dropped it, because I've been opening DMs. Then it will reveal it, obviously. So there you go. Any other weird ones kicking about?
I used to get this girl just used to send me like unsolicited pictures,
Yeah.
and they started with her face and then quickly moved to other bits.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what do you say to that when it's a Tuesday afternoon and then the foof is just there? You're like, bloody hell.
Were you replying to them though?
No,
you
but you could see that I'd seen them. I had a look. You've got to look, haven't
Yeah,
you?
well, that's what I mean. You gotta go and look.
Like it's like on the motor, if there's a crash, you've got to have a little look.
Just to see what's going on.
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like that little scene when it says that could mean so many things. Obviously, she took it as he likes it, I'll keep going.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Whereas actually, you're just kind of curious. You don't maybe want any more.
Now you can react with like emotions though, can't you? With like emojis, so you can just do thumbs down
Oh god.
and round up.
So savage.
Yeah, but then everyone knows.
If either of you got like one worst date that you always remember, or like you always that just like sticks out in your mind, the one that you just like, oh, I can't think about that.
I remember once going on one when it was probably one of the first dates I went on. I was about 18, 19. I was at uni in Birmingham, and I met this girl with the thickest Brummie accent. So that should have been the end. And she's like, "You're right, my name's Eve." I was like,
Wow.
but she was dead nice looking, and she goes like, "We'll go to cinema." So we went.
Cinema is a terrible dating
Yeah,
venue.
what are we talking
If there's
about?
anything I'm going to achieve from this podcast is that no one should ever go on a first date to the cinema. It is just the beginning of a shit date.
Well, the cinema wasn't the problem. What happened? Took a train to where she lived, somewhere like Solihull, and we went to like, do you know one of those like complexes where there's the cinema, there's a Nando's, there's all those things.
Yeah, maybe a bit of bowling, perhaps.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then we got there, and there was no film on till a bit later, so we decided to sit outside and have a drink. The only film that was on was what's that? The Da Vinci Code. I don't know why 2 19-year-olds were going back to the Da Vinci Code.
Quite a deep film.
It's like the longest film ever. It's like 3.5 hours long.
Exactly. So we go and have a drink outside, and we're chatting away. And then next thing, I just see her sort of look off into the distance and just look very pale and shocked. And there's this lad with 2 other lads walking behind him, walking towards me. He's like, "Eve, what the fuck do you think you're doing?" And it was her boyfriend, which I didn't know she had a boyfriend. And and then what happened is he's kicking off, and his friends are trying to calm him down. She didn't say anything, so I'm going, "I didn't know she had a boyfriend." In the end, he leaves. He's like, "I'm going to see you later." Pisses
gosh.
off. And then we sat there, and she goes, "Right, well, the film's going to start soon."
What?
What?
No explanation.
No explanation. So I'm going, well, I don't really know the way back to the train station. So we went to the cinema.
As if it wasn't going to be awkward enough already when they're for like 3-hour Da Vinci.
Yeah, so we sit watching the Da Vinci Code, and then at one point I went to the toilet and I thought, maybe I could, because this is before like Google Maps and that, so I didn't know my way back, so I thought maybe I could just leave. And I was like, I can't. So I went back, watched the film, then she walked me to the train station, and then at the end of the date, she went in for the kiss, and I went, "What are you doing?" And she went, "What? Have you not had a nice time?" It's like, nearly got my head kicked in.
Yeah, your boyfriend, remember him?
So
Yeah, yeah.
confused by this, because surely if the boyfriend was that annoyed, wouldn't he be like demanded that she just like leave with him right there and then?
I think she was just sort of
walk up to you.
making out that I was just a friend. Which is
Oh,
hurtful
okay.
for me. Because I
Yeah,
paid
this
for
was
2
not
Malibu and
us.
Cokes. And it wasn't a Wednesday for the cinema, so it was expensive, right?
Already a painful day in
Yeah.
many ways.
I love a Malibu and Coke, but that's such a holiday drink. Like you're in Benidorm when you're in
That was-
Solihull.
That was my drink when I was 18. I was like, this is delicious.
I don't care what people say.
Did you see her boyfriend again?
No, I never went to Solihull. I've still never been. Just
I mean, why would you?
Refused to gig there just in case he's in the audience.
yeah, can't watch a film with Tom Hanks in anymore. It just brings back too many memories.
I love that the boyfriend as well came up to you and was like, "I'll see you later," as if he was going to do something, you probably would have done it then.
Yeah, yeah.
He never was. So.
I think he was just spitting on the floor quite a lot to show he was hard. That was
Yeah.
probably it. And then he
then-
walked off.
Secretly, he really wanted to join you for a Malibu and Coke. But no. Danielle, how about you? Is there any dates in mind that you like?
Okay, nothing as kind of dramatic as that story. No, like, I mean, when I said that my dating history was kind of bland, I realised quite recently that I have been on dates and not realised they're dates.
Oh.
I friend zone people without realising it. And then my mates are like, you went out with that guy, right? Yeah, that was a date. No, it wasn't. We're just mates. And my mate's like, Danielle, you're dumb. Like, that was a date. And I just friend zone people without realising it. So I probably have had some bad dates, but haven't realised that they're dates. I just think, oh, okay.
I quite like that though, because then there's no pressure there.
No,
like,
there's
the
no
thing about
pressure.
like dates is like you get nervous and you wonder, like it is like an interview situation, isn't it? And there's like loads of admin that goes into it. But if
Yeah.
you just think you're going to meet a mate for a drink, it's so much
No,
more.
but I
like,
think you
low-key.
need the like clarity that it's a date, because otherwise everyone's confused, aren't they? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I did go on one date that I knew of. I went on one date that I knew of, and I was 45 minutes late
Oh no.
to dinner.
Ooh, unforgivable.
Do you know what I mean? Like 5-10 minutes, maybe 45. He then made me order everything. He was like, right, you're late, so you can just basically order
What, like
we
a
were all gonna
punishment for
have.
being late?
We were at a Japanese restaurant, yeah, and he was like, well, you made me wait, so here's the menu, you order.
if that was me,
Bear in
I'd be
mind, I
like, no offence, but I'm probably going to order the food. I'll probably already be eating by the time you got there. It's like,
Yeah, and I was a bit like, okay, I don't know you. I don't know if you've got any allergies or anything. I mean, your face is really not that exciting now for me. I felt like I was back at school when the waitress came over and was like, what do you like? I'm like, one of them? Do we want one of
also,
them?
it's like Japanese, it's quite cheap.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I feel like with like sushi and Japanese food, like you know what you like and
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what you
Yeah,
don't. And then we finished eating, and then he asked if his friend could join. I was like, okay, this is taking a turn for the worse. I'm probably just gonna leave. I was like, no, stay. So we went for a drink somewhere else. Me, him, and his mate, and him and his mate were just having a great old chat. So after that,
so
I was like,
weird,
okay, I'm done now. Like, I know that I was 45 minutes late. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But
Also, it should make you feel bad. Like, that's
yeah,
never a good start to a date,
I
is
did
it?
tell him that I couldn't. I was going to be pushed to make the time that he'd booked it for. He booked
so
it
you
for
kind of- yeah.
7:15, a little bit early in my books for an evening date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, a random time, 7:15.
Yeah, why not 7:30?
Right, yeah.
Always in a
My
half early
OCD,
hour.
yeah, my OCD really couldn't
15
do with
minutes
that.
is like, no.
Yeah, and so I turned up at 8, and I did think, oh, maybe I should just pretend that I thought it was 8. But no, he knew that. I mean, when I walked up the stairs to the restaurant, I was like sweating because I'd like walked so fast from the station. He was like, okay, no, you definitely knew that you're running late.
Good stuff, all right. Well, we always have a big question on the podcast that we like to try and answer. So, are you ready for this week's one?
Go.
Get settled. It is, should you ever date at work or a colleague that you're working
Is
with?
it a recipe for disaster?
Yeah.
I think so.
Me too.
I think it depends what your line of work is.
This is the thing.
That's true.
Like, all of us who are sat here today don't have like 9-to-5 jobs.
Yeah.
We all work different hours, different countries, different places, and like within like a creative industry where, a comic is deemed the same as a presenter or like a dancer, and so what is the place situation these days?
I think it's more where you're going to see them, isn't it? Like, if it's an office, you're definitely going to see them again, so then you
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
escape them. That's the thing.
And if you're a teacher, well, that's tricky, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who you dating then?
Yeah, but do you know what? I remember my PE teachers dating. They had an affair at high school, and then they it was like a big like scandal at
Yeah.
their school because both of them were married, and then they like
To
picked
other
up and-
teachers?
not to other teachers,
Okay.
but then they went on a school trip, like, and they were like the chaperones, and then it somehow like became exposed that they were basically having this like full on affair, and then
God.
Drama in the
Trip.
staff room.
yeah.
Rockstar.
PE teachers as well.
It's always the PE
really
teachers.
fit.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones who are a little bit ripped in the context of like a school.
Yeah. But I bet if you look back now, they were dead fat. They just wore shorts. You're like, yeah, he's athletic.
That's it.
I do think it's hard though, because a lot of people meet people at work, and if you, I don't know, I think if you like working in a similar industry with similar interests, it's quite easy to fall for someone.
Yeah.
I think.
I've done it, and it was quite exciting because we had to keep it a secret. So then that like fuels the fire, doesn't it? And then you're like, you were turning up to stuff, and nobody else in the room knew that you were dating, but you knew you were dating.
Why did you have to keep it a secret? Just because you weren't allowed?
I don't know. It was just everyone would have known, everyone would have talked about it, and also, yeah, she was kind of not my boss, but it was that sort of situation.
She was your boss. Basically, she was your boss. She was
my
kind of my boss. No, she was your boss.
She was your boss, wasn't she?
So it would have been weird. And yeah, we did keep it secret, I think, for the whole time.
Until now.
Really?
Until now.
And what was her name?
I've dated dancers, and it was all right, actually. Like, again, really bland. Like, really, really boring.
And it was all right.
Yeah,
Was it weird
no.
when you like broke up though?
No, because by the time we split up, I'd kind of like moved out of the dance industry.
Right.
So it was okay, I think. And whilst I was actually like fully in the dance industry, I didn't date any other dancers.
Like,
Whereas,
did you like make that decision? Or?
yeah, I always, well, the thing is, I've got a couple of girlfriends that have dated the same male dancer.
Yeah.
Basically, he dated a
Classic.
girl when he was at college, then cheated on her with another dancer who basically is like 5'6" brown hair, looks the same as the girlfriend, was with her for 2 years. Then the same thing happened again with another dancer.
Oh no.
And then the same thing happened again with another dancer. And now he's with my friend
Who is also a dancer.
Who's also a dancer, 5'6" brown hair, has a slight paranoia issue, which, if I'm honest,
Yeah.
Kind of understandable.
I can understand why. Yeah.
He certainly has a type, doesn't he?
Yeah. He's,
wonder how
he's
he-
a lovely guy.
I wonder how he breaks up with him. Is it like because they're both dancers? Is you like a lovely contemporary with
scarves,
leave into their
yeah.
arms and then just moves out the way. And he's like, bye.
Yeah, so because that like kind of was already happening. It happened a couple of times by the time I got into the dance industry, and it was one of the first things that I kind of knew about in terms of like having a relationship in that world. It kind of made me go, okay, no, let's not get involved.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So
How many times has it happened that a guy's tried to do like the dirty dancing lift to get a girl in the dance industry? I bet that's happened all the time.
I've been out a few times, and if you say to a guy, I'm a dancer, first of all, they think you're like an exotic dancer. They always,
Right, okay.
they're like, oh, like what, like a lap dancer? No. No, sorry.
Like,
So
that's
that
the only
level,
career in the
let's-
dancing world that you can have.
Yeah, that
And
happened
it's not
once-
really dancing, is it? It's, just, it's more swaying.
Yeah, that happened once when I
Getting ready for
went.
bed. That's what that is.
Yes. That happened when I went through immigration once, and I landed at LAX, and they asked you all the questions, very serious, and like you're nervous, even though you've got every right to be there. And they said, "Oh, what do you do?" And I was like, "I'm a dancer." "Oh, an exotic dancer?" No. So then there's me like reeling off my show reel, my CV, being like,
Doing
no,
moves, being like,
basically, no, yeah.
Doing a paso doble through customs.
love it.
So, in conclusion, are we all in agreement that we think dating in the workplace is not?
Yeah, I did it once and it
acceptable?
worked out fine, but I think it's rare for it to go well, isn't it?
I'm going to say no then to dating in the workplace.
Yeah, I
Not
reckon
ideal.
Probably no. Shaking
No.
heads?
Yeah, I'm gonna go no.
No.
All agreed.
All right, one of my favourite bits of the podcast is your stories, obviously, and which you can use hashtag worst dates. And Danielle put out a little post earlier and had some back in. So
Yeah.
what did you get, Danielle?
Okay, so I got a couple. Well, I got quite a lot, but I've kind of picked some of my favourites. So
Alright.
this one's quite a lengthy one, but I'll try and condense it. It basically said that she was talking to a guy, and they arranged a date, but it was 3 weeks in advance because of timetable scheduling issues. And he basically promised that he was going to take her on this big surprise. He was really looking forward to it, like planning like the works.
Ooh.
So obviously she's like getting super excited. Anyway, then on the day he had to delay it a little bit. It was like, "Can I pick you up in 2 hours?" Fine, okay. So she more time for her to get ready. This girl now is like really dressed up, like
Yeah.
Yeah,
thinking,
she's
I'm
buzzing
going-
about the surprise, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she's had 2 extra hours to put more things on. It's like Buckaroo, innit? If you late for a date, they'll just start putting more bits on their head. It's like they've got extensions, a ball gown, 2 lots of
inside
heels.
other
No,
hoops.
yeah.
So at this point, she's buckarooed up, ready for a date. And
That means something else in dating.
Yeah.
okay.
Sorry,
My story's
Danielle.
going to be such an anticlimax now. That little- Anyway, so she gets in the car, off they go, pull up at a McDonald's.
Shut up.
He then admits he forgot to plan anything.
Oh, no.
She's in a dress and heels and basically says, "So do you just want to go here instead?" She was starving, thinking that she's going to go to some Michelin star restaurant. So it's like, well, yeah, like if you haven't planned anything, then I'm going to have a McDonald's. So this girl is now sat in McDonald's eating
my
a
days.
20 chicken nuggets,
Good choice, though.
saying, "Oh, why don't we maybe go here after?" Like she's now having to basically make a
Make
plan of action.
yeah.
Should we go here for some drinks? Should we do that? Finishes and he goes, "No, do you want to just like come back to mine?"
Oh, my days.
Oh.
She was like, "No, it's no secret. I ditched him there and then." on
Yeah,
Yeah,
too
correct
right.
decision.
Also,
That's awful, isn't it?
sex after McDonald's. Really?
No.
Really?
Saucy. Yeah, like barbecue sauce everywhere.
Is that ever like a good idea?
No. Sometimes you wake up with the McDonald's still there, like as if you've had sex with the McDonald's. Mess everywhere, but no.
Yeah, so I
That
mean
is
that.
such the. I wonder how many courses he went. Like, did he get her an apple pie for dessert?
Yeah, the McFlurry might have sealed the deal, maybe.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
sad for her 'cause she was well
No,
excited,
bless
obviously.
her.
Yeah.
Imagine getting all dressed up.
Yeah.
And then I did have one other, which was I got food poisoning at the restaurant, and whilst taking a nice romantic stroll on the beach afterwards, I vomited on my date's feet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they were having a little,
Also on the sea, like on the beach, you got to be wary of the seagulls, not like swooping down to get
Yeah,
the
yeah.
bits. That would happen.
Yeah.
That would happen.
I had
What? Sick?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I had a
they love
sick
it.
moment once it was less of a date, more of a meet. So went out on a night out, and there was this lovely girl in a club years ago, and then we were having a chat, and then she went outside for a cig. So I was like, right, I'll follow her. That's what you're doing, it. And then she was sat on the floor, and I sat down next to her, and I just thought, oh God, I am sat in her sick. Sat in this warm sick. My hand was in the sick. Because I could see it as I lifted my hand up, and it was just like, textured. It looked like my hand had been pebble dashed. And then we had a kiss after she'd been sick, and then we saw each other for about 2 months.
Really? That's amazing.
Hi, Rachel.
Wow. That's the love story that you don't often
You
hear.
snogged her after she vomited.
I was young. I was 18.
Did you have any chewing gum, or you just went in there with?
I just went in there.
A bit
no.
silky. Oh, horrible.
I wonder what she said to her friends. Oh yeah, like I've met this guy after I was sick outside a nightclub last night, and then I got a snog off him. Like, classy.
He had Smite sick on his hand. All right, here's another one that you sent in. We were chatting about meeting, and she started talking about a bunch of things I had interest in, being quite specific. Eventually twigged that she must have checked my Instagram for stuff I liked or did. I figured this was fine since we'd met on Tinder or something that's pretty standard. A little bit of a stalk. Sure. We ended up going back to her place, and her housemate looked really shocked to see me, like fucking terrified. When we had a moment alone, the housemate beckoned me into the hallway and showed me a picture of my face with a red circle around it and asked me, "Is this you?" Then ensued the most terrifying argument I've seen between two women ever, at which point I was like, nope, I left as quickly as physically possible, drove away and did not ask questions. I'm sort of hopeful that there was a reason for it all, and it just came off as super weird rather than a sinister explanation I'd assumed upon seeing. That's quite weird. So she's obviously like full stalker, had checked all of his socials and then had a picture which she'd like circled his face.
What?
That's mad, isn't
Like
it?
a detective board with all the bits coming off, being like, right, we go there and then do this, and then I get that face.
Yeah.
Like,
And
That's
it's like
freaky,
weirdly
isn't it?
easy to do that, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
Because, you can see, you go on their location, you can see where they've been.
Each episode, we always have a caller we like to get on the phone to divulge their worst date story. And I can say that we've got Emma on the phone. Hello, Emma.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
We've got Danielle Peazer and Brennan Reece with us in our worst dates attic. They are keen to hear your worst date story. Please let us know what happened.
Okay, oh my God, it was an absolute nightmare. So it was like back when, you know, those headbands that like went across your forehead that everyone wore at festivals were
Yes.
a trend?
Oh, yeah.
Oh God. Okay, so it was back then. Basically, went on a date with this guy to the cinema, and he was like
Great choice.
7 foot. Yeah, I know. He was like 7 foot tall, so like proper, and like just so you can visualize it, I am like 4 foot tall. So already we had that like awkward little height difference thing.
little.
So so we went for a coffee first, and just to kind of chat, get to know each other and all the rest. And he kept telling me about all his issues with his IBS, which I was like, is this good
Sexy
first date
chat, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not sure this
Romantic.
is a thing. So that was all a bit weird. Anyway, got into the cinema, and he picked a scary film to watch, like a horror movie, and I was just like, oh God, like really, like it just felt like something out of a film. Do you know what I mean? Like a classic first date horror movie, cuddling up together. I was like, oh, I'm not down for this. This is just so cringe. But I went with it. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. Anyway, got into the cinema. Horror film was like the worst film I've ever seen in my life. I was just sat there like bored out my brains. And you know when there's that awkward thing of like, shall we touch it? Like, do we hold it?
Yeah, it's
Like,
really
what-
obvious if
like,
you do, isn't
what-
it? Like when your elbow
Yeah,
touches,
it's
you're
just-
like,
Yeah,
"Ooh."
brush knees.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And you sort of like, yeah, it's just so awkward. Anyway, so at one point there was this really, really scary bit like approaching, you know, when there's like the tension and it's like building up and you're like, oh my God, it's going to make me jump any minute now. Basically, at the exact moment that we were meant to like jump out of our skins, he went to throw his arm around me as if to like cuddle me. And in doing so, elbowed me in the face. Right? And my headband flew 5 rows back, and I was just like, oh my God, this is mortifying. So then we had to have this awkward thing of like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I just punched you in the face. I was like, don't worry about it, I'm more concerned about my headband. It was just like the worst thing that's ever happened.
Did you go and get the headband? Or no?
Yes, well, at the end of the film, obviously everyone left, and he was like, should we like head back? And I was like, yeah, can I just, I'm just gonna go and get my headband. scurried back to pick it up. Oh my God, it was mortifying.
Did you go on another date with him?
No, that was it. The end.
Elbow to
Yeah,
the face
goodbye.
usually ends a sort of early relationship.
Yeah.
Also, I
had a
think.
black eye for like 3 weeks.
No!
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
no, it was awful. Yeah.
Also, someone with IBS going watching a horror film, I thought was going to end with him literally shitting his pants.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
I mean, that is a whole nother story. Yeah, thank God that didn't happen. Bloody hell.
Maybe it did, you just didn't know. He wouldn't
Yeah,
have told you.
I thought, do you know what? I'll just elbow her in the face to sort of cover up the stench.
Amazing. Very good story, Emma. Thanks
Thank
very
you
much.
so much, Emma. That was wicked.
You could like feel the awkwardness, elbow to the face, and then sat there like not
I
really
love that it
talking
left a mark for 3 weeks. Like
He was 7 foot.
Yeah. His
Being
elbow
elbowed by
must
the
have been-
Undertaker. Like,
No wonder he elbowed it. It's probably his arm's probably like 3 foot long.
Brennan and Danielle, thank you so much for joining us in the podcast today. Do you feel like lifted and like, I don't know, elated like for sharing your West Gate woes?
no. I don't. I feel awful.
I feel great hearing other people's awful stories.
Can I just check, by the way, this was a double date, right?
Yeah.
Just
No one's been friends though.
We're going to the cinema next.
Yay!
Don't know anyone. Good stuff. Thanks so much for coming on, guys. And make sure you download the BBC Sounds app where you can get podcasts like this and loads of other stuff. Good music mixes, radio shows as well. Subscribe to Worst Dates on there, and you can watch it on the radio on YouTube as well.
Thanks very much.